Hey everyone, I'm in New York City tonight with Stand Up on the Spot with this phenomenal lineup. Then next week we got another amazing lineup at the world famous Comedy Store. And if you haven't checked out my special yet, Daddy, do yourself a favor after you check out this episode of Jeremiah Wonders with my pal, Steph Tolev.
Give me a sound check, Steph.
How do I sound? Is this sounding as nasally as I feel?
Well, I think you and I always feel nasally.
Yeah, I think if we have no option.
I mean, there's only one mode.
It's nasal.
It's nasal. That's all.
That's it.
Yeah. I think, no, you sound good.
Okay, good.
You don't sound nasally.
I'd like to hear that.
Yeah.
Are we rolling?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not?
It's like, all right, here we go.
I like to get right into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No intro.
No intro.
Just the test right into the whole podcast.
No, it just goes right into it.
Okay.
I mean, you know what? I'll give you a very nice intro right now. Can I give you a nice intro?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
I didn't make it awkward at all and force you to do this.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
This comedian that we have on the show, on the program today.
The program.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to interrupt the big intro here.
As a Canadian, do you call it program or program?
Program.
Mm-hmm. Some people call it a program.
I also call it a podcast. I didn't know this was a program. I'm very confused of what we're doing now. What did I say yes to?
Listen, there's a lot. It's more than just a podcast that you're doing.
Okay.
You know, I already told you that we're going to be wearing wigs. There might be a little
excited. Oh, so that makes it a program when there's a little
right
bit of
when
a
there's
tap.
a little, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
I mean, have you done a podcast recently where you heard a good old C chord?
Not at all.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was a C chord.
Yeah.
Learning a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
This comedian who's on the program today, she is one of those comedians that if you have not seen live, you have to. When I follow her at the Comedy Store, the highest compliment that I can give her is that I have to work very hard because she has just crushed the room. And I love bringing her up. I've known her for a long time. She was one of the comedians that when she wasn't in at the store yet, I was trying to tell her, you got to come over to the store because we need funny people like you over at the store. She started coming. She showcased. She got past and became a paid regular, of course, because she's undeniably hilarious and an undeniable talent. You may have seen her on Netflix. You may know her from her podcast, Steph Infection, or Slob's podcast. Mm-hmm. And you may have seen some of her viral videos or stand-up clips online. She does amazing stand-up clips. She does sketches. Please welcome my pal, Steph Tolev, to the program.
Oh my God, that was a very nice intro. Very thorough.
Yeah.
Very detailed.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, is that me?
Yes.
He's talking about me.
That's you.
It is very, you know what, we are very, I always thought that we would be a bad back-to-back follow at the store, but we're actually good.
It's fun.
In a weird way, because it's like, we're not similar. Our energies are similar.
Yeah.
But then the content is so different that people are like ready to be, they're on that wavelength
They're
now.
already like if one of us, whether it's me going first or you going first, the energy is already up here, and you and I just know how to keep the ball up in the air.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
And the crowd's like, oh, we're still partying?
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, especially in like the OR when it's late.
Yes.
Because it's like you revamp them. Like you get them going again. I'm like, oh.
That's my whole goal when it's like.
Those late
Like
spots.
some of the comedians will be complaining like, I think they're dead. I'm like, are they?
Yeah.
you know, I'm so curious. I always want to see if I can turn that room to bring up more energy in there.
And then don't you feel like it's such a feat when you do?
Yes.
Like it's like I'll always ask like the door people. I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, are they dead? And they'll be like, yeah. One's done well recently. I go, okay.
Mama's got some work cut out for
bring
her.
in the heat, baby.
Yeah, I one of my favorite things is I've had a couple comics who were going up after me, who when I go up, they'll sometimes be like, thank you for making it good again for me.
Yeah.
Because I was in there right before you went on, and I was like, the room's done.
Yeah.
And I wasn't looking forward to my set. Mm-hmm. And then you brought them up, and then I had a good set. I was like, that's all I wanted to do.
That's literally it.
Yeah.
It's also, that's such a good way of looking at it too. Like, it's good for everybody. Like when someone does well, like I hate when people get mad when someone's doing well. It's like, Well, the crowd's warmed up now. The only person, and I always talk about the only person that I cannot follow, and I'm having an existential crisis about this. Rick Ingram. This is the thing with Rick Ingram. For some reason, and it's only at the Comedy Store, I swear to God, if Rick goes up and does crowd work, and then I go up and do crowd work, no. Immediately no. The crowd immediately turns on me. They immediately don't want to hear it, even though my crowd work is nothing like Rick's. They get fucking pissed and they're like, that's it. And I know he's a master at it. I understand this. But I had this talk with Greg Fitzsimmons who were like, why can't we also still do crowd work? Like, the crowd likes it. They want it. It's not going to be the same. And at the Improv I've tried, I've watched people do crowd work and I go up and do it. Works perfectly. I don't know why. And it's fucking infuriating me that it's not working there. And I refuse to let it sink in.
Now, and you're refusing to just not maybe do crowd work after Rick.
I'm refusing because I don't know why a comic can go up, comic, dating, marriage, kids, crowd work. No. Every other topic can be talked about for fucking 3 hours.
Yeah.
But for some reason, and like with Rick, I purposely sit in the crowd and I look at who he talks to, and I make certain
you don't talk to them.
I don't talk to them, or I don't say the same thing, or I don't ask the same questions.
Yeah.
So immediately, like, and I've tried different tactics of like tagging something onto something he said, or doing a different route, or talking to somebody else. Does not matter what I do. Even if I tried doing no crowd work, the crowd is like exhausted after him.
Yeah,
I'm trying.
No, he's very good at doing what he does, and
he's amazing.
I find that when I follow him, because he's a hard follow in general.
Yes.
Even if you decide to do material or crowd work, he's just one of those guys at the Comedy Store that's very difficult to follow. Mm-hmm. There's a reason why he's been opening for Chris Rock on the road and riding for him.
Yeah.
He's a talented guy.
Yeah.
He's
Big reason there.
Very good. I have felt that before when I've followed him.
Because you do crowd work too.
Yes. But what I have found, and maybe try this maybe.
Okay. I'm down for ideas.
If you are disguising it more riffy than the direct crowd work, what he does direct, what do you do for work, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
They'll go along with it, is what I found.
Okay, that's a good
If you are disguising it less as like transactional, like now I ask you a question.
Yes.
Because if like the way I follow Rick, I try to, it's worked best for me because I've had some rough sets after him where like I'm like, oh, I need to figure this room out after he goes on because it's such a specific energy. Example, I went after Jeselnik the other night.
Yeah.
You and I are opposites to Jeselnik.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes that plays in our favor, but sometimes it doesn't because once a crowd likes a certain thing, you have to reset the room.
Yeah.
And a few minutes in my set, I had to address how different Jeselnik and I were, and then the crowd's like, oh, that's why this is like so like bumpy.
Yeah.
And then it got better. But with Rick, it's one of those things where I've had more success if I don't do the traditional ins with the crowd work because he's done so many of them for that amount of time that I think that what they do, they go, that's his thing.
Yeah, exactly. And
that's his thing. He just did that. Why are you doing that? He just killed with that. And you're like, it's different. Don't worry. But that's all that they see.
But that's what I'm trying to, you're right. But I'm trying to like figure out why that crowds are so dead set. And I could see like if I did a few and it was eating shit,
right?
Then get fucking pissed off at me. Like, you're not as good as him. Sure. And I'm like, look, my crowd work is not as good as Rex. I'm not saying it even is close, but I just don't like the idea that they won't even give me a fucking chance to say anything.
Do you call them out on it?
I do. And then
does that help?
No, it sucks because my fucking parents were in the main room. They'd never seen me in the main room, and they are from Toronto, so they were randomly in town. And then I, ate it. It was like full in there. I stunk it. And then I tried to go to jokes, and at that point they were like, "We already don't like her." Do you have like so? I find. I find, especially the main room, especially there's certain jokes I do where I know I can kind of get them on my side, especially if it's like, you know, Mark Maron, Sebastian, Whitney, all these fucking big names. And then I go up and they're like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah.
I have like one joke that'll kind of like,
Who is this?
I'm gonna bring her up. I don't know who she is. But then I go up and so I feel like I have one bit that I kind of like. I make fun of this commercial I did. I'm like, you guys don't recognize me from this commercial, and that kind of helps.
Yeah.
Do you have like a bit like that?
I go into that? I'm
Yeah.
like, this is a little bit of a fail safe.
Yeah.
I've got a couple like appearance type jokes that usually get people on board with me pretty quickly. I'm just really special though, so like I think I need to say goodbye to some of them and really write some new ones though.
Yeah.
So I need to work on some new opening jokes, but I find that for me, opening jokes are sometimes the hardest to write.
Yes.
Like a good one that like right off, like everybody's like, yes, we're on board. We were thinking that too. Now that that's out of the way, go on to your act outs, buddy.
Yeah.
Right?
It is. I found I was coming across really too aggressive. So I had a joke I do where I say I dip my lips in the water to cool off, and that I found was like so bizarre and gross. But people were like, okay, this is who she is. This is like a weird thing.
They know what you're gonna be about just in that short amount of time. So they're like, okay, I can reset to this. I like this different thing that's going on.
Yeah, but I always find like sometimes the OR I never feel like this, but the main room I feel like I have to go. At first they'll be all quiet and I'll go, you're gonna like me by the end, I promise.
Right.
Like I don't know why you're so
me.
judgy so quickly in that room. It's so bizarre.
Yeah.
But I love the store and I'm so happy to be there, and that's that. And there it is.
And
good night, everybody.
But you mentioned that your parents saw you in when they came to the Comedy Store. They saw you when you went home and opened for Bill Burr, though, right?
My dad did, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that was. I mean, yeah. So seeing that now, I'm like, there's no way, nothing else will really. Yeah, that really changes things. And anytime I do bad, I literally just in my head I go, well, Bill Burr finds me funny, so.
Yep. So anyway.
yeah.
Hello, Bill. I got to take this.
Sorry,
Dad. Sorry, Dad.
Billion Burrs calling me. Yeah, it's because anytime I get like hate online, I'm like, yeah, well, let's just go back. And it's also like, I've had people call me a comics comic, which I think you've probably had to. Obviously, it's a nice thing when like comics say that. I'm like, that to me is a compliment. I'm like, I'd rather comedians like me than people. Maybe not.
Feel like I'm not a comics comic though. I don't know. I feel like
you don't think comics like watch you when you're on and stuff?
I don't know. I mean, maybe I guess at the store. I don't know. I mean, I will feel like a comics comic when I don't see comics leaving the back of the room when I go on.
I mean, okay, I feel like
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I feel like that,
like those back bucket seats. I'll feel like I'm like one of the guys, like a comics comic, when somebody's like, all right, I'll give this a few minutes.
I think somebody's always going to get out of those damn seats and walk out.
I guess so.
It's also, especially if you go up late, no one's staying at that hour. Like, I feel like then I'm not a comics comic because no one's in those damn seats when I'm up there.
Right.
It's like 12 o'clock on a Tuesday. Everyone's
I think
like,
perfect example at the store of a comics comic is Fahim.
I was just going to say Fahim.
Comics will sit down to watch Fahim.
Mm-hmm.
I come in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Of all, I'm like, that's a comics comic.
Yes, it is.
I don't think I've ever really been a comics comic because like at open mics and stuff like that, I would eat it all the time and then I'd go on the road and kill.
Yeah, well, I mean, who's I don't recall seeing anybody murder at an open mic.
Some of the LA open mics were kind of like that.
Really?
Yeah. It's weird. It's real. Honestly, it's the worst thing you can do for a comic is give them like too much support at those mics.
Yeah.
It happens in some of like the alt rooms and stuff where like somebody's killing and I'm like, what the frick is going on in here? I'm like, they're barely saying punchlines right now.
That's like when you watch improv and then everybody else on the sidelines is clapping. Yeah. And you're like, this is the worst improv I've seen in my entire life.
Right.
Because I started in improv and for the first like 4 years.
Where'd you start doing improv?
In Toronto.
Yeah? At Second City there? Or was it like one of the other
Yeah, I took
trips?
I took a Second City class when I was 16.
OCD check. Keep going.
Yeah, I took a class when I was 16 and then I joined my best friend, but in college she started an improv troupe after our 2-year college program called the Dumb Cunts. 4 of us with a K. So we thought it was cute.
Would you greet the crowd with like that opening and everything?
We would say we're the dumb cunts, then we would do these monologues off the top, and let's just say people didn't love us putting dumb cunts on on the flyers.
Please welcome to the stage.
We're like, dumb cunts, chanting, and all. We had like a full dance. Yeah. But then we did there's like a smaller, I don't even remember what the fuck it was called, a smaller like little thing we were doing. Mm-hmm. But then we would do literally, I remember like bringing people out and my parents and like friends and everyone after a show, you're so funny. And like we'd rewatch our videos and I'd be like, people said I was funny. I was a nightmare. I'd come on as like an anteater and be like, and everyone's like, and I'm like, this is not good.
There is coddling that happens.
There's a
in
big
improv.
coddle.
It happens.
Yeah, big coddle.
Yeah.
It's
so
bizarre.
Would your parents go to see those improv
Oh
shows?
yeah, they would come. They would come to a lot of my shows, and even though they didn't find me funny.
Now, for them to see you do those improv shows to an arena with Bill Burr,
Big jump.
they have to be like, oh, thank God, this is really working out for Steph.
It took because I've been doing it for 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I started when I was, I guess technically 17 was my first stand-up show, but I started really when I was 18 years old.
Yeah.
And I think the first time my parents kind of thought something was happening was 10 years ago. I did my first TV taping for Just for Laughs. And they were like, okay, she's getting laughs. But then like Just for Laughs is like CTV. They see it once. So they're like, they forgot to like PVR it. And they're like, well, we missed that. We'll never see that again. So that was kind of, they really didn't really get it. But then once the arena happened, I remember I got off stage and my dad and my sister were just like bawling their eyes out. And then I was like, and then I started crying because they were like, holy fuck. And now my grandma's in the hospital and my dad got like recognized by some nurses. They were like, Tolev? Are you Steph Tolev's dad? And they're like, he's like, yeah. He's like, oh my God, we're huge fans. And he's like, what the fuck? So I think that like little things like that are making,
of course.
Yeah.
It's special. It's cool for your parents to see the growth over the years and you to be like, see, I'm doing the thing that I set out to do. I told you.
But because it takes so long and there's just, especially with stand-up, there's such a long period where you're literally just, I was working like 3 jobs. And when I moved to LA, I didn't have my green card. So I was working under the table. I was nannying. I was working like really shitty catering jobs and just like horrible, like, and then all of these like horrible men were ghosting me. And I was all this, like, it was just all this crap that I was like, they're like, what are you doing? Like they'd call me like, just come home. Just come home. We don't need to do this anymore. I'm like, well, I'm doing it. Because especially when you leave Toronto too, it's like, I made such a big deal. I had like 3 going away parties. So I was like, I must do this now. I must prove to everybody. I'm like, I was like, I should be proving to myself, but I really had to prove that I was good. It's like a weird thing that it's sick, but I watch a lot of people where I'm like, you're so bad. Why do you think, like, at least, you know, when you have growth, like, you know what I mean? Like you have growth, you're doing well, everything's moving forward. I know people who are still, say 20 years as me, how do you keep going?
I don't know. I think after a while, you invest so much in something that there is no turning back after a point. And I think that there is a little bit of a Stockholm syndrome with, I know people who I started open mics with that they're either still in it or just, you know, some of them got out, rightfully so.
Yeah.
But some of them have not progressed. And I think some people like to sit in the darkness.
Oh.
I think some people like to revel in like, yep, this is just where we're at. I think some people don't like to look inward and they'd rather project outward.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
It does. It does. But it's also like, not just comedy. Like this, I'm not.
No, this is life in general.
Yeah, exactly.
I think some people would rather complain about a situation than look inward and see, wait, is it me? Is something wrong with me that's not making other things around me move forward?
Yeah.
Am I not attracting the right company?
Something,
where other negative people are flocking to me as well, and we're all like holding each other down. Because like I do not surround myself with people who are super negative at all.
No, there's no point.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
Life in general is just too hard. So if you're gonna be around a downer, and let alone somebody who's like negative and who undercuts you or anything all the time, I'm like, I gotta
No.
I gotta separate myself from this.
yeah.
It's not worth it.
No, it's not. And I feel like it's a hard thing to do to admit that to yourself, that you're the problem.
Yeah.
Like there was like literally I was single for 10 years and everyone's like, it's not you, it's them. And at one point I remember I was like alone drinking a bottle of wine. I remember just sitting there being like, no, it must be me though. Like at some point I have to take fucking responsibility to be like, what am I doing? And then I like look back on all these like first dates where I was fucking hammered or I was super aggressive and like saying weird shit. I'm like, oh no, it's me. It's most certainly me.
What was an example of some super aggressive things that you said on a first date?
I just remember this one that really stands out where we went to a bar. I was hammered when I got there. I'm like, fuck it, let's go back to my house immediately. Like immediately back to my house. I remember falling off the bed while I was riding him. I fell onto the fucking floor. Can you imagine being a man? It's like, I mean, like picture like this fucking drunk demon falls off your dick and then has to crawl back on the bed like a fucking gargoyle. You ready for some more? Like, what the fuck? And then he ghosted me. And then I remember for 2 weeks being like, oh my God, poor me. I'm like, poor me? He should have called the police.
What's wrong with that guy?
What's wrong with him? He's a fucking jerk. What the hell?
He didn't call me?
Yeah, cut to me bleeding, going, let's go for round 2. Well, he's like running out of my house. Like, are you kidding me? It was for sure me. For sure me. But talking about the negative people, though, that is like, I'm at an age too. I just turned 38, and I'm like, I have no room in my life anymore for anybody who doesn't give me. There's no point. Everything's negative. Every day I wake up, and there's at least one comment that says I'm ugly, I'm unfunny, or I'm fat on my Instagram. I already deal with that every day. I can't also have another person in my life to my face saying this or being like, I have no time.
Yep.
If you're not going to make me feel, everyone should do that. No one should be hanging out with anyone that makes them feel anything less than who they are.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
If your friends aren't propping you up and your family isn't hoisting you up, like, then what are
the
you
point?
doing?
Yeah, what are you doing? Like, find new friends. Also, if you're listening to this being like, oh, fuck, find new friends. There's a lot of people out there.
Because there's other people who are probably looking for a good friend like yourself.
Then there you go. Do. I was like this. Yeah. This needs music. Yeah. Hey, if you're out there looking for a friend, just know that other people are also looking for a friend. So, hey, join friendsfinder.com, and me and Jeremiah are going to make this website today so you can find a friend. Did the laugh help at the end? I feel like it did.
Actually did.
Okay,
like,
good.
I did a little flourish.
Okay. Yeah.
That could be like the stinger on the commercials. Find a friend. Do you want a friend that rides you like a demon, but then talks to you the next day and says, hey, sorry about my behavior last night?
That would be a good website. There probably is. I remember I was looking for friends for a bit in LA that weren't in comedy. Do you have a lot of outside friends that are comedians?
Not many. My wife has some friends that are not like in the industry, and it's sometimes a breath of fresh air when we hang out with them. Yeah. Not very often, but
yeah.
It's sometimes
enough.
Like, you know what I mean?
Not too much.
You just need a little bit. You just need a little bit.
I'm at that point where my friends from Toronto are like, I have normal, but like non-industry related friends, and it's so fucking nice to just talk to them and have a regular conversation. Because otherwise, it's every conversation is social media, your numbers, shows, how'd you get booked on that? Why aren't I booked on that? And then you're like, it's a spiral of hell.
I know.
So I was literally like, I joined a puppy class. I first got my dog, and I met a girl there because I was like, I need to do things where I will not be like, I like puppy class. Like, what do you do? I'm like, I have a new dog. I didn't even say sometimes I don't even want to say I'm a comedian. I just like get like I actually, this is so embarrassing, but I have a new friend. We were walking up Griffith, and our dogs started playing together, and then we started chatting, and then we weirdly like walked up and kind of down the hill together. And she's like, oh, I'm really glad we kept walking together because I want to keep talking. And I was like, me too. I'm like, it's really embarrassing to like meet somebody and want to be their friend at this age. Yeah. But then we exchange numbers. She came to my show the other day. She's a musician. I'm like, this is a good friendship.
You're like, great. I'll go to your shows. Yes. That's a relief to go to see a musician.
Please.
Oh my goodness.
Please, God. I know. I just saw there's a, do you like the Yeah. Yeah. They're coming to this thing called Heaven. It's like I don't know what the hell it's called. Heaven something. I don't know what the heck it's called. I just looked for tickets today. It's, what is it? 90s know what it's called.
Are you a concert goer?
I am. Just like Heaven it's called. And there's like Hot Chip, Future Islands. It's a good lineup. Okay. Yeah.
Just like Heaven.
God, and then I died. I sound like I live in a Legion Hall. That is a horrible cough.
It's okay. All this weather change, it's everybody.
And I got tested 3 times for COVID, so it's not COVID.
I did last week too. I tested 3 times last week because I was so paranoid, and I was like, oh, I don't have it.
I was on set, and they did they went in there, slopped around.
Yeah.
Big role.
Do you?
You're joking. I was playing a coach. I was playing an aggressive coach.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, very classic me. I only book things that you're like, yeah, that's exactly what you do.
But I mean,
yeah,
that's why you book it.
This is it. What am I supposed to book? I'm not gonna book fucking girl next door in a bikini. They're like, no, crossing guard next door who was fired 3 weeks ago, yet she keeps coming back. I actually did read for a crossing guard recently, and it's so funny. I said, you know, Skylar Stone?
Yeah, I love Skylar.
And Tim Dillon, we all were in the screen room talking.
That's a lot of bassy voices, by the way.
And we all went out for the same role, and I was like, for a second I got offended. I'm like, oh, I'm in the same category as Tim Dillon. No offense, Tim Dillon, but I was like, we're okay. This is other female comics are going out for, you know, babe. Like, Steph, I don't know.
How are you reading this line? How are you reading this line?
I read it very. I do everything like me. Mm-hmm. I feel like if I'm going to book anything, I'm going to get on set and I'm going to play it myself anyways.
Yes.
You mean? Are you doing that?
No, but I mean, I should be. I mean, the stuff that I sometimes do, it's so like it's character-y. So it's me doing a version of. It's like a heightened version of different scenarios.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I feel like I only play myself because I don't. Maybe it's because I don't know how to act. Like it's just easiest.
I think that the reason it's probably working too. They're bringing you in for a reason. They probably saw stand-up or something like that. And a lot of times when they cast stand-ups for stuff, they're like, well, we saw that and we like that, so we want that in this.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably why it's working.
It just makes more sense to. It's easier. It's just easier. Write me in as me. Let me yap around a little bit.
Yeah. The yes.
I am a concert goer though. You asked, and then I breezed over it. I used to go all the time.
What was the last concert that you went to?
Death from Above, 1979 at the Fonda. They're a very good Toronto duo band. I talk about them all the time. I'm obsessed with them. Got backstage passes. I've been obsessed with them I've seen them 18 times.
Is that you sliding out of your seat?
That's me slipping because my pussy is so wet. No. Yeah, that's exactly it. I DM'd them like a crazy person and they offered me backstage passes and then here we are. But that's the last one I saw. Before that, I hadn't seen one in a while. It's been, I used to go all the time, but now it's so busy.
Yeah. One of the last ones that I went to was Portugal the Man.
Oh, how was that?
That's great. I've seen them live a couple times and they're awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah. They're one of those people who they started coming to the Comedy Store around the pandemic, like a little bit before, a little bit after, and they were recording like an album in LA and organically became friends with them like back like in that Sacred Ground area. They used to go watch Don Barris on Mondays, the Ding Dong Show.
Oh my
the time.
God.
Yeah. So they're like
weird.
Legit comedy fans and they like weird stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, I like you guys. You like weird. Oh, we're gonna be friends immediately.
Yeah.
And they're all super cool.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I like that.
So I'll try to see them when they come back out to LA.
Yeah, I want to see something. That's my new New Year's goal was to like do stuff that's not stand up.
Well, I mean, yeah, the longer that we're doing this, the more important that stuff is. With you mentioned going on a walk with your dog, I'll sometimes like walk my son where he like will walk around the neighborhood and there will be somebody with a kid. And I was like, how old are they? You know, it's like the same kind of dog.
It's the same.
Talk.
Yeah.
Or like, oh yeah.
How old are they? How much do they weigh?
When do they start walking?
Yeah. I don't know why I ask. I always ask how much other dogs weigh because I think my dog's overweight right now. Well, she is. The vet said she is. So I don't know why I'm always like, so how much your dog weigh? And they're like, what? I'm like, she's 85. She's a big girl. Big girl. And they're like, all right, we never asked, but weird question to ask with my dog. Thank you.
My dog thick.
She's a thick bitch.
That thick girl.
She's a thick girl.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I need to do other things. I need to do more stuff.
What's something on a to-do list outside of music that you're like, it's a hobby that I might want to try if I have downtime someday?
Drumming. I've been trying to drum for a very long time. I asked Joel.
You're friends with the right people.
I know, but Bill gave me a number to somebody who's like a big time drummer. I'm beginner. I need somebody that has a kit. I'll pay them to go over, teach me the basics once a week, ideally for an hour. Is what I want to do.
Are you down to do this?
100%. I had a drum kit when I was 24 years old. I taught myself. I know what the fuck I was doing. I played for a year. I pissed off my neighbors.
Joel will do it for you, absolutely.
I asked Joel. Joel was like, I can find someone for you. I'm like, no, I need someone because I don't have a kit. I'm not buying a kit. Here's the thing. I think I'm going to be very good at drumming.
Yeah.
Very cocky.
Okay.
I'm very good. I can do. I can do hands. I can do feet. I can do them at different times. I'm very good at doing I used to Highland dance. See, I look like a drummer.
Steph, you do.
I do. I look like a fucking
in the
drummer.
80s? Like,
I
come
know.
on.
I fucking know. This face, tongue out. I can definitely.
You could definitely.
I think I'd be good.
I think so too.
I use Highland dance. You have to use your feet and your hands
Joel
at different
will do
times.
it he's about to move in. Joel's about to move into a new place. I guarantee you, he'll probably be down once he moves in and has his setup. And he's got like a back garage area that he's gonna put his drums in.
Well, then I'm gonna message Joel and be like, we have the same tattoo artist. Let's just.
Oh, come on.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
And there will be a more comfortability since you're both comics too.
And I'm embarrassed because when I say beginner, I mean I need to be like tap 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 tappity poo. I need to be very, very basic.
One of the most humbling things that I've done in years was right around 2020, 2019, 2020, I started taking piano lessons from scratch.
Okay.
From a guy that I told my wife, I go, I'm self-conscious about this. I don't want to put anything out on Facebook.
No.
I don't want comics being like, dude, I know somebody. I'm like, do you have anyone in your network of people who's maybe a teacher that you know that like is at the theater connected through the school that you work at or anything? And she found a guy who she knows who he teaches piano, and he would come over to me.
Oh.
Full adult. Two adult males sit next to each other.
Doing
This is a C. This is a D. This is an E minor. Like
All
I
of
had to
it.
learn every note. My brain freaking hurt.
Can you read it now too?
Yes, not amazingly. Like where I can like put sheet music
then-
down and then just do this. But I know like most of the major and minor chords now,
Okay.
where like I can construct songs and improvise over them. That's the
Yeah.
whole goal. Is I want to be able to just write music and play music myself, like compose
Do it
some
all.
stuff.
Yeah.
And it was a very humbling experience.
I like that.
But it was really good for me though, because I hadn't. We get comfortable. We get comfortable in our
Very
routines and stuff. Where when I was learning, I'm like, wow, this is really hard. And I have not felt this since like high school or college, where I'm like staring at something and my brain. I literally told my wife, I go, I haven't had my brain literally feel like it's hurting in so many years.
Oh,
like
wow.
challenging myself.
Yeah.
Because it's growing and it's trying to process the information that you're giving it. So I think that'll be
you
good
know
for the
what?
drumming.
I think it is nice to be humbled, which sounds like strange. I bombed. I just came back from South by. I bombed my first show pretty bad. It was a character show, and I didn't realize everyone was. I walked backstage, and everyone was gluing eyebrows on, and I came back, and I'm like, I just flew in from Toronto. I have nothing. It was James Domian. It was like his show, so he is this crazy character.
Oh, wow.
I came out. He's like, just play like a pedicab driver. I'm like, okay. So I came out as this like more aggressive than me character. The crowd fucking hated me the second I walked out, and I went, all right. And then I just sat there and bombed my dick off. And thank God I was like the third guest, so I didn't have to be there for that long. They were like, oh yeah, we have that taped. I go, take me out of it. They go, why? I go, erase anything I said or did. At one point, I looked at the crowd. I go, you guys fucking hate this. I go, you hate me. I go, I don't care. I don't. And I was like, I was hopped up on cold meds too because I was really sick when I was there too. So I was like, not even like at my best, but I left that night. And I was like, well, I think I needed that. Just a big old slap in the face bomb. It really I came down too. I came off of like three, I had 9 shows in 4 days. And like I opened for Sarah Silverman, I opened for Tim Dillon, sold out all these shows, and then just got fucking punched in the cunt, right in it. I was like, this sucks.
You know why I think that's so good though is I think that the reason why comics after a while who get so big stop growing is because they are not running into those situations like that anymore.
No.
There's not the humble pie that's being served every once in a while where you're like on a great run, like you said, and then out of nowhere, just
socks
because it grounds you immediately.
Oh.
I had a thing yesterday that I'll share with you that was just the response time. I laughed out loud. I put together a new 7 minutes to submit to some of the late night shows.
Yeah.
I send it off to my manager. He gets back to me immediately. I don't know if this is the set. It's a very strong set, but I don't know if this is the set maybe for late night. I was like, send it.
Send it.
He sends it to one of the late night bookers. They get back in under 10 minutes, Steph.
Ooh.
With notes.
That's fast.
If you've ever submitted anything, it's blazing fast.
It's months.
It's insane.
Under 10 minutes.
Under 10 minutes. You want to hear what it is?
I do want to hear.
I don't love this set for late night. Don't think it's going to happen. Hard no.
Hard no. Not even like
no.
an
No
update.
wiggle. Hard no. And I was like,
ooh, yeah. Okay. You're like, and there it is.
yeah.
It really brings you back.
And
It
this
really-
set is, I wouldn't send anything that
If
I'm
you-
like,
yeah, if you didn't think it
it's
was.
got solid laughs throughout.
Uh-huh.
It's clean.
Mm-hmm.
It might not be typical late night style. It's my
But-
style.
Yeah.
And they're just like, and now under 10 minutes. Just hard no immediately.
But doesn't that want to make you like not? This is why I think comics like us,
yeah.
late night might not be our avenue.
I know, but it's the Rick Ingram syndrome with you. It's the same
Where you
mentality
want-
that I
you,
have.
you're like, but
When
I must.
When I get hard, like a hard no like that, I'm like, oh, really? It's the competitive. I think
is.
we're both very competitive people. And it's something innate inside of me that I'm like, I'll show you.
Well, especially because Moses Storm did a wild one, so I see his. I'm like, well, there's that. He whacked out on his, so I feel like we can. But I know he was in with Conan.
I can't. I don't even like to like. I love Moses, and he is doing his own thing to the point where I'm like, I literally can't. He goes in a separate box for me.
No. Oh yeah.
Because he is carving such a unique path with what he's doing specifically, where I'm like, well, I can't, like with that Conan thing, like I saw his Conan set. I'm like, if I presented something that was off the wall, they'd be like,
No, they're like, no, we can't do that.
Yeah. He has a quality.
Oh, he's very likable. He does it very seamlessly.
Yeah, it's a very good quality.
It's a very unique
I
quality.
can't put my finger on it. I don't know what it is, but it's something that's working for him.
But I'm saying this is why I've never submitted for late night because I don't want to be clean.
Right.
I can be clean.
Right.
Simple stuff. I could write a set right now if I really wanted to. I don't want to. I don't find it funny.
So I see it as a challenge.
Yes.
To write clean. Mm-hmm. And I have actually a lot of clean jokes. But you've seen me. I also go, as they say, pretty blue with some of the sex stuff and stuff like that. That to me, because that stuff is so funny to me.
It is funny, and everyone's doing it.
And everybody likes it.
Mm-hmm. They do.
It just
To be honest,
literally, everybody likes talking about sex.
They do.
Because we're thinking about it.
Yep.
And it's on the minds. And if you can put a clever new take on something that everybody knows about, it's just so fun to watch. Especially you and I, we go there with the act outs.
Oh,
and to
we
me,
go there.
That is so funny because it's so gross. Yeah. It's so gross. Like the act out that you did of literally falling off the guy's dick, like it's just, that's my cup of tea.
Yeah. It's also like stuff that, you're not going to talk about with your partner and it's gross, but it's just like a funny, like I have a gross joke about titty fucking now. Not a new topic. I'm not saying it's a fucking new angle here.
Did you invent that?
I am the first comic, clip this. I, Stephanie Lynn Tolev, am the first comedian to ever talk about titty fucking. But now I have like people DMing me being like, "Oh yeah, I tried to titty fuck my wife last night, but thought about your act out and it grossed me out." I'm like, "That's funny." That's what I want.
That's the joke that keeps on giving.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
See, that stuff like that, I'm like, that'll keep me going.
You can only hope that people, when they're doing a mundane activity, think about your jokes. That's the highest praise.
It is the highest praise. It is very nice. It is very nice.
Now, I want to do this next segment that I think that you're going to like a lot because I watch your sketches online. They're fantastic.
I get into wigs.
And I think that we're going to put on some wigs right now in this next segment called Wig.
Wig.
Hey, Sandra?
Yes, Elliot. There's a door. Knock next time you come in.
I was just wondering if you wanted blue or red for the cups for the break room.
What do you think, Elliot? What do you think I would want for the break room? Do you think I want people walking in thinking, oh, Sandra's a little bitch and she's crying all the time with the blue cups? Or do you think I want, hey, Sandra's on her period and she doesn't give a damn and she's free bleeding with the red? What does that sound to you, Elliot?
There's also a clear option.
I'm going with the red cup. We're going with the red cup. Red's powerful, Elliot. Something that you're clearly never going to learn about.
If I follow you...
Pardon? I can't speak up, Elliot. It's quite quiet. I have calls coming in that you can't hear because they're on mute.
If I shadow you for a while, I could maybe become a powerful guy.
First of all, I'm a powerful woman. I know you got confused by my voice. Elliot, listen. People like you are never going to equate to someone like me. Okay? Let me guess. Do you piss sitting down? Do you tuck? Your face is so serious. Do you tuck your little penis? Do you tuck it in? Do you hold it with two hands? Is that how you pee? I piss standing up. All right, Elliot? I piss standing up. I walk in, I stand over the toilet, and I aim my clit into the bowl. I don't have to touch it. You know why?
Oh my God.
Because my hands are full. I'm always doing something.
Your hands are full of clit?
I have a huge clit. I have a very thick, very powerful clit.
Does it
Elliot.
dip in the toilet when you sit down?
It dips if I sit. That's why I stand. I let it go straight in like a hose, and my hands are probably working. I'm signing contracts. I'm taking phone calls. I'm rearranging the whiteboard. I'm always doing something. Yeah, there's a toilet in my office. I'm actually peeing right now. And I'm finished. I don't even wipe. How do you wipe your ass?
Front to back?
Listen, Elliot, if we're going to start with one lesson today, it's back to front.
But I have balls.
Yeah. Exactly.
What if I hit the...
Then you learn. Then you learn.
What would that teach me, though?
You know what? I don't know the answer to everything, Elliot. You're coming in here. I'm in the middle of rearranging my quadrants. I got a lot of quadrants today. Do you know what a quadrant is?
No.
Oh, something else that I got to teach little baby boy Elliot with his little tiny penis. How big is your penis, Elliot? Is that inappropriate to ask? If you could compare it to something in this office right now, what would you say? You have no idea. See, that's a problem.
Probably that thermos.
The thermos. Jesus Christ, Elliot. Good God. Then open with that. Walk in here and say, "Excuse me, ma'am. I have a huge fat cock. What cup do you want? The red or the red or the blue?" That's how you open a conversation.
Do you want to see it?
Look. Yeah, I do want to.
Here we go.
Jesus Christ, Elliot. You're in the wrong business. Oh, you're giving Ron Jeremy a run for his money with that thing. Good. And the hair. It matches perfectly. It's absolute perfect curl on top and on bottom. I want everyone to know that he didn't actually pull his pants down. People are probably watching this going, Steph Sandra Tolev. I'm sweating. Can you turn the air up, please?
Oh, sorry. 1 second.
Yeah, can you put your giant fat hog back in your pants? Good Christ. That's almost like 3 thermoses. Gee, that's a Coleman cooler. You just put a whole Coleman cooler into your pants. God sakes. Elliot, where'd you go to school?
Santa Monica.
What was that sound? Was that your penis going back into your pants sound?
Yeah, it sometimes drains the blood out of the energy in my body. It's so big.
Oh, you're going to make a lot of women sore. A lot. Or men.
What if
It's the 80s. I don't know what you're into.
Can you help me get in some other women's quadrants?
I can help you get into a lot of quadrants.
Yeah.
My quadrant, not so much. Other quadrants, yeah. There's a lot of women in this office that might need to take that thermos down to Pound Town.
Mm-hmm.
I regret saying that. That was inappropriate.
It's okay. Most of the stuff that we've talked about today is slightly...
Does seem as if this conversation has gone off the rails and this is not an appropriate in-office conversation.
Well, maybe I shouldn't have whipped my fat cock out.
There is now a dent in my desk from where you brought it out. It has a curvature in it. A little divot, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Well, it seems like the shadowing has been going really well lately for my confidence, and because nobody's ever explained to me before that mine's, bigger than average.
Do you not have a father in your life?
No, I was raised by dogs.
So then I guess compared to those dogs, it probably looked pretty small. Have you ever seen a dog's penis fully come out?
Well, yeah, mine doesn't have the red rocket extension.
Have you ever seen a penis fully come out? That red rocket, that's the tip.
Oh.
Yeah. When the whole thing comes out, that thing's small. That thing's a shriveled hot dog at 7-Eleven on the old rotisserie belt.
Well, that's what my dog brothers have been telling me my whole life, is that my penis is small.
I don't know how you got this job if I didn't ask who you were raised by. That seems like something I would ask an assistant. I feel alarmed that I didn't ask this question.
I mean, they don't really put that on job applications. Who were you raised by? I was raised by dogs.
How did you find this job? How long have you been working for me? I feel like it's...
just the classified section, like local paper.
I thought this was a big business and we were actually finding people internally here. Turns out, no, we're actually getting lunatics raised by dogs coming in here with huge penises. I don't know.
I'm just an assistant, and I'm just trying to learn to grow, and maybe one day my dick will be as big as your clit.
Maybe one day. We can all hope.
Yeah.
As for now, the blue cups can go in the trash. Get the red cups out, and maybe just put your dick by the cups when people come in. Just have it sitting out beside the cups.
Like, see what they want to do with it?
Yeah. Yeah. See what they want to do, if they want to go for the dick or the cup.
Now, should I be hiding behind something?
Yeah, no, we don't need to see you. You can't be part of it.
It's just the cutout. The dick is just resting on the counter next to the red Solo cups?
Yeah. Why don't you put a Solo cup around and just have just the tip peeking out the bottom of the red Solo cup?
So, cut out the bottom of the cup?
We work in a very... very loose office to be able to speak like this.
I know the calls are going off.
The calls are going off, but I feel like we're having a breakthrough here, so I can't answer them at this business that we have not mentioned what it is. And we never will. Take the tip of your penis. It's the same color as the red Solo cup. Just see what people do with it.
We work for Solo cups.
You know what? Let's go with the clear. Fuck it. Let's go with the clear. You've changed my mood.
Okay. All right, thanks, Sandra. That was really the only question that I was going to ask, and then I was going to leave, but then I don't really know why I pulled my penis out.
I forgot to take my Zoloft this morning. I'm not feeling well. I'm blaming it on that in case HR calls.
Okay, well, if you don't say anything to HR, then I won't.
Elliot, I might have to fire you after today because I can't lose my job. But you might have the wink release.
Sandra, nothing's wrong.
I don't know if that's a dog hair in your eye. I'm not sure what's going on. Oh. Okay, Elliot, that's enough. Get the clear cups. Get out of my face. I got to tend to these calls.
Okay. Do you want me to get you another pee pad?
No, I'm going to ring this one out. I'm not going to be wasteful.
Okay.
Is this how these normally go, these wig segments?
Well... that would have been pretty far off the rails.
Yeah,
but those are my favorite ones, is when they go completely off the rails.
Well, I don't know how else they're supposed to go.
It was great. It made me laugh so much.
Do you feel I just can't look at you in that wig. It's so bizarre. It's a curly wig is always funnier than a non-curly wig.
There's
like
something
a tight
funny.
curl.
Yeah, the tight curls are fun. There's something funny about a tight curl.
I need to get a photo of myself in this fucking wig. I'm
do
obsessed
it.
with it.
Do
I'm
it.
obsessed with this fucking wig.
Don't you feel powerful? You
I
really
look like Hillary Clinton,
a little bit.
don't I?
Yeah.
You're like, no, not at all. Are we done the wig segment?
Yeah.
Wig.
Okay, so this segment, you're going to share a story of a sexual encounter, and you can make it as innocent or as graphic as you'd like. And I'm going to play some sweet, sweet saxophone along with it.
Oh.
Support it. Make it steamy.
Okay.
Make it sexual.
Oh.
This is called Sax Talk. Oh, Sax Talk.
All right. This story happened. I believe I was doing a festival in I was doing a club for the first time in St. John's, New Brunswick. Very Canadian tale. It was my first time doing this club, and I went out with the bookers after. We were all hanging out, and I was on Tinder, very avidly on Tinder. And I matched with this guy, and in the middle of dinner, I left. I said, see you later. I'm going to go fuck this very hot man in the middle of the woods, pretty much is where it was. So the booker is being alarmed that I'm just literally getting up after I ordered mozzarella sticks. Left them cold. I had no time. I need to go fuck this strange man. This is years ago, so it's before Uber. So I call a cab. Eerie night. Cloudy. Fog everywhere. I get in the cab, give the woman the address, female driver. She goes, I'm not dropping you off there. I'm like, excuse me? She goes, no, I know who lives there. He's a bad guy. He's a bad guy. And I was like, she goes, I'm like, what do you mean he's a bad guy? She's like, no, I've dropped other women off here before. I don't want to leave you here. Can I please leave you my cell phone number in case anything happens? We're very far away. I'm not near New Brunswick anymore. I'm way out in the boonies. Pull up, long driveway, dark house. Jeremiah is so scared. He meets me outside. She watches me walk up with this guy. She's I also, red flag. I probably should have left. We get inside his house, get back right down to the basement. I don't see anything. It's very dark. We end up having, we have like a glass of wine. Also, just met this man. Just matched on Tinder, went to his house, had one glass of wine. He was very hot. I will say at this point, I don't think I really cared what the woman was saying about him because he was very fucking sexy. So we have sex, no condom, which good. We love that. We love the no condom. Pretty wild sex. Not gonna lie, it was quite good. I wake up in the morning, realizing I probably should not be here anymore. I need to get back. Very far. It was like a $70 cab ride. I'm in the fucking boonies. I'm not close. He offers to drive me home. Couldn't tell you the guy's name. If you put a gun to my head right now, no clue. Jason, James, Justin, Jeremiah. We walk outside. I hear dripping. First thing in the morning, I hear dripping, lots of dripping. I look over. There is a deer carcass. Deer carcass, just dripping blood right out the back of his door. Fresh deer killed. I look around his backyard. It's a graveyard for deer, moose, pheasants. I'm not sure. Man is a hunter. Man is a very avid hunter. He drives me back in this bloody truck with a bunch of antlers in the back. Dropped me off at my hotel, kissed me on the cheek, and I never heard from him again. So, ladies, here's a lesson. Don't do what I just did. Never do that. Never just go back to someone's house. Especially, that could have been me. That could have been me dripping. He could have taken my horns off. Hung me like a trophy. But the sex was good. The sex was good. Jeremiah's face. Yeah, I mean, yeah, scary.
Yeah. The fact that
the woman was really
warned
upset.
you.
Warned me.
But you're like, Mama needs her nut.
Mama needs her nut. This was years ago. I will say, God damn it, he was hot. He was
he
fucking
would have had to
sexy as hell.
if you're like, listen, lady, I'm fine. I got this.
But I told him too. I forgot the person. I told him that I was like, the cab driver thinks you're crazy. She's like, what? I'm like, this woman thinks you're bad. He's like, I don't know who the fuck that is. He's like, there's people in this town who are out to get me. And I was like, okay, whatever.
That's a red flag right there.
Oh, there was several red flags. Several literally
Wow.
red dripping blood flags.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm here. I made it. But don't do that. Don't be me.
Don't do that, ladies.
Don't be me.
But was that sex good though?
It was so good.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
sometimes
honestly-
you just gotta get it.
Sometimes you gotta get the nut.
Sometimes you gotta nut.
You got a nut.
Gotta nut.
You got a nut.
Steph, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Would
Thanks
you
for
like
having me.
to plug anything before you go?
Just my Instagram at Steph Tolev. Follow me on there. I'm touring all over the damn place. Or listen to my podcast, Steph Infection.
Heck yes. Like I said at the top of the podcast, you got to see her live. She's so fun to see live. She's a great follow on Instagram. I love her. You will love her. And I've got a new special out that's on YouTube. Go watch it now. After you are done watching this episode right here, right now. And if you've already watched it, thank you. And I love you. Love you, Steph. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you. Love you. Bye.